Welcome back to Aria the Scarlet Bullet, Anime Review, Episode number 2. You are thinking, wow, that was quick. You just put up the first one, now you do another one. Well, because I only had a couple episodes left I was going to talk about. Though, in the case of these episodes, it seems as though Episode 8 was actually the end of basically Book 2. Though for some reason, look online, apparently Episode 9 was listed as an adaptation for Book 2, which honestly made no sense. This book has debut of one new character, basically Durandal, who it was revealed in episode 8 to be a descendant of Joan of Arc, which I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Now, unlike in the case of Holmes and Lupin, who are fictional characters, Holmes is a lot more well known than Lupin is. Joan of Arc is actually a real person. Yes, Joan of Arc does exist. Well, she did exist. She was in France. And the way to describe what happened to her is that, well, that part is true. She did burn at the stake. That part was true because she was accused of being a witch. Yes. I did see one movie that did feature her life where she led the French army to basically repel the British, the English army. And then at one point she was betrayed by the French, and she was later betrayed, captured, and then executed for being a witch. Yep, and this woman led the French armies against the English. Yeah. Oh, and this woman is voiced by Colin Clickenbeard. Yep. Though she only physically appears for one episode. I think you hear her voice like once. Unlike the Bratty Killer, where you hear that character's that particular person's voice before they know who it is for like several episodes, at least once, except for like one. This character apparently communicates via email. Now, this arc is basically known for developing Sindiko, Kanji's childhood friend, who is also in love with him. Now, apparently her grades have been slipping a bit because she's been talking about Durandal. Yes, Durandal. Which that's not actually just an alias that she just assumed. Durandal's actually even for a sword that she uses when they reveal what Joan of Arc really looks like. Yep. And let me show you what Joan of Arc looks like in this series, because, yeah, they revealed her in episode 8 of all things. Let's see if we can find her here. Let's see. Where are you? Here she is. Yeah, this is what the character looks like. Yeah, basically a woman wears like gauntlets, armor like on her thighs, shorts. Yeah, and the big sword. Yeah, that's her sword, Durandal. Yep. And this character is voiced by Colin Clickenbeard. Odd enough, this woman only appears just in like one episode of the anime. I don't know if she appears in the rest of the series, but she physically appears like one episode. Yeah, she appears in episode 8. Though she appears in chapter 5, basically toward the end of book 2 for the series. Yeah. Her code name is basically, her nickname is the Dust Witch. Yeah, which, the thing is, the name of the book that's adapted from is called The Blazing Diamond Dust, which is focused on Sunaku. Sakuya. Yeah. She gets a lot of development in this book. Yep. Now, the book itself was roughly, if you think about it, it's like 6 chapters plus an epilogue. Yeah, and this book was adapted for technically, if you read the light novel, watched the episodes, the episodes themselves pretty much were covered in about 3. This book was covered in basically 3 episodes, not 4. So she's being targeted by Durandal, and of course, well, Aria and Kanji basically take turns protecting her. And they show a little bit of our backstory here, where they actually show at one point when Kanji and Sindiko were kids, he took her out to a fireworks show, which apparently her shrine doesn't like that much at all. Which, like, This her shrine must be really strict. Yeah, it must be really strict. So, and after a few episodes, basically following her around, Arya get a little paranoid about Durandal because this particular character may have been responsible for sending her mother to prison. And of course, Kanji does not think that the person is real. Turns out he's actually wrong about that. Yeah, he's never usually wrong about stuff, but in the case of Durandal not being real, yeah, this is actually one time you can definitely prove that, yeah, he was wrong. And Arya basically got a little mad at him for it, and eventually, of course, he does follow Sakuya when she gets led away and she disappears. Though thanks to Rika, she was the last person to see her. So they traded her down to a warehouse where he actually finds her, and then Durandal somehow grabs her. We see what looks like we see her hand, see Durandal's hand. It seems like it has like some kind of band on it. Basically, this is later shown to be a glove later on when they show Durandal what she looks like. Yeah, it's a woman. Despite the fact it has the voice of a guy. And of course, Arya, now when they go to this warehouse, well, I should basically start from, before I continue here, I should talk about basically what happened at the start of this. Where Arya and Soriko basically are tearing up Kanji's apartment, fighting each other because, well, she's jealous over the fact that, well, Arya and Kanji, well, she doesn't matter they kiss, but that they're partners. And eventually she does accept after she finally calms down. Yep. So then, of course, well, that's when the whole Durandal thing comes up. Arya volunteers basically to be the bodyguard, and Sagura's like, okay, I'll accept you as a bodyguard if Ikiji also protects me as well. Now, she has a nickname for him called Kin. Now, at first he doesn't like it, but apparently he doesn't mind it after a while that she calls him that. Probably because it's an old nickname that she calls him. So, eventually, of course, she does get taken by Durandal, though she later gets chained up somehow. I'm like, wow, that was quick. Yeah, taken away, and all of a sudden she just led away, and then she's chained up really quickly. And then, of course, he's able to, well, and then he try to free the lock. Of course, Arya goes find the lock because the water, basically, there's some water coming into the room. Where this water came from? Presumably the sewer. I'm not sure exactly where this water came from. It could come from Tokyo Harbor. Yeah, it's possible. Also, at one point, it was during episode 6, we got knocked at the window and he got cold. So it's shown that Arya was the one who actually gave him the medicine to basically cure his cold. Yeah, he assumes it's actually her friend, but nope, it's revealed. She tells him later that, yeah, she's not the one who gave him the medicine, it was Arya. Yep, so basically he frees. Well, he locks one of them thanks to his special lockpick, though he's able to lock the other one. Like, he comes up with a genius way basically to unlock it by kissing Soniko on the lips, and then of course it goes with stereo mode, and that basically allows him to have 2 more lockpicks and unlocks the lock, and then they get to the top, and you think this is her, but not actually her. Turns out this is actually Durandal in disguise. And then they show her, and she reveals the whole thing about Durandal being, well, her sword. And eventually, of course, during the episode, they actually have a good fight, and then Durandal gets cut in half by, well, of all people, well, Kiji does stop briefly, though they're able to slice it in half thanks to, well, all 3 of them team up on her, and she's actually arrested. Yep, she's captured, and she, of course, I don't know if she does confess, but she does go to jail. And then of course that's when they go back to the Department of Appeal that, yeah, it was Arya got the thing, and also Arya basically accepts her as basically sort of a slave, but really just a friend, part of their circle. And that's the end of book 2. Yep, that's the end of it. Which, yeah, that's where book 2 ends, not episode 9. Episode 9 starts basically book 3. The only reason why I'm discussing this one is because that's what the Wicca said, basically, where book 2 ended at, even though it really didn't. No, the episode, I got the English translation, it was called Honey Trap, which is also the name of the 3rd book of the series. Thing starts off with Kenji basically apparently going to Gore's dormitory. He thinks he's going to Arya's room, which I'm like, wait, Arya lives with him. Why would he go to the girls' dorm? Which makes no freaking sense. And of course some costumes. And then when of course she be very seductive on top of him, he's like, "Hi Rinko," and he's like, "How did you know?" Arya doesn't like this at all. And then of course she starts basically pulling up her shirt, and then Arya jumps to the window, and well, then they have a brief fight, and then of course she gets onto the roof, and her flashbang basically goes almost look like keychains. So basically, she's able to get back here because she had a plea bargain. That she has to get back to school, but she got expelled from IU. Yeah, this is the first mention of IU. What is IU? It is, from when I've done a little research on it, thanks to the Wiki site, given a little bit of information. It's simply put this universe version. Well, at first it was the original main bad guys of the series, who were basically based upon Spectre from James Bond. Yes, which makes it the second evil criminal organization based upon Spectre. The other course being the Black organization from Case Closed. And she basically reveals that she was expelled from IU, but she wants their help to basically rob this guy called Vlad the Bad to get her stuff back. And of course, they contemplate the whole episode, and then of course also he takes Rinko home while it's raining, and he gets a fight with Cinco. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce her name. Also, forgot to mention this, when she was battling Joan of Arc, she actually unleashed her little heat mode, which she's able to, well, also Arya got her hands frozen, but thanks to her healing ability, she's able to heal Arya's hands, so they're no longer frozen. Yep. Though apparently she also took time to recover her guns, because she still got her guns. Yep, so they pretty much agree at the end of the episode to go with her. Though this is before that, we actually have Shiniko trying to seduce Kenji when she reveals to Rinko that she's actually kissed him. Yep. Arya, of course, doesn't like it at first, but she later is fine with it. So we also have Rinko basically trying to seduce Kenji while he's taking a test by having his Heidi's mechanical pencil in her chest. Yep, hides her chest. It's like, oh, that's not where it is. Like, okay, yeah. It seems like though she's very serious about him, but that's like the third character in just a handful of episodes who's fallen for him. Wow, he is one lucky guy to get 3 beautiful women to fall for him. 2 of them happen to be descendants of famous people: a thief and the world's greatest detective. The other reason why I call him that because that's what he generally is referred to as. That's what I've heard Sherlock Holmes referred to as world's greatest detective. So, and she tries to do so by lock her in the school. Let's just say nurse's office. Yeah, but the thing is, in the U.S., basically a school nurse's office, basically from what I've been to, doesn't look like a hospital room. No, it's basically like the one I went to at my elementary school. It was like a couple beds and some chairs and the desk, and that was it. There was no privacy curtain in that, and it was no full bed. It was just basically kind of like almost like a small cot to lay on. This is basically I went to. Well, I finished up 20 years ago, but I'm sure it probably has changed in 20 years. Now, if you ask, did I go to nurse's office when I was in middle school and high school? No, never did. Middle school, I never got a chance because about halfway through my middle school year, I got transferred to nurse school, and the school I transferred to didn't technically have a nurse office because, well, I went to the secretary's office for that. Yep, so... yeah, basically she tries to do something by taking off all of her clothes, with the exception of her underwear. Though she also apparently took time to steal his phone, and then eventually he got it back. Like, put your head down. He's like, oh, you're gonna get undressed, and he manages to walk behind her, go out the window, and leave her there in her underwear. Though it looks like though she's about to take off her bra. Yeah, it's like she really wants to have sex with him so badly before she goes back to her shrine because she has to stay there for a month because she kind of broke the rules, broke part of her oath when she went after the Randall. She had no choice in the matter. I hope that Kenji basically explained to her, or basically her superiors at the shrine maid. Yeah. Otherwise, though, pretty good set of episodes. Though it's kind of disappointing that, like, once again, we have a great voice actress like Colin Clickenbeard, and her character physically appears for one episode, just like Stephanie Young's character. Yep. Though, at least at Lucia Christian's character, at least she appears more one episode, which that's good for her. Colin Clickenbeard, I think that her character is fine. Don't have really a problem with her. Though here's interesting about this character. From what I've read, this character never falls in love with Kenji. Nope, never does. She later gets her charges dropped and she becomes basically good friends with him. Never falls in love with him like the other girls do. Yep. Though from what I've also read about IU, apparently in the series, apparently it's a crime to even to have knowledge of the organization. So, which I'm like, that is utterly stupid. Really stupid. You send people to jail because they have knowledge of a criminal organization like IU. To me, they should use to have that info to take them down. Not frickin' put them in jail. If you want to suppress the information, fine. Just buy them off. So they won't, let's just say, blab about it. Don't put them in prison. Yeah, it's an absolute stupid thing to do in the series. Yeah, but from what I read, they disappear by they get rid of this organization about halfway through the series. From what I've heard. Yep. But not much else to say about these episodes. They're good, and I'm definitely looking forward to discussing the last 3 episodes of the series. So expect to see next view come in just an hour. Yep, because only just 3 episodes left to go for the series. So yeah, that's it for Singular View. So stay tuned for 1 hour from now to discuss episode 3, discussing the last 3 episodes of this anime. Okay? See you in the next video. Bye.